So how did we end up with a sequel to a movie about a bear that curses? Hey everybody, the Casual Movie Guy is back here to review Ted 2, and even though my intro was a little misleading, I did really enjoy the first Ted film. I thought it was a very well-made comedy, thought it was very, very funny, the cameos were cool, the pop culture references were awesome, and I really enjoyed the movie. But then you had A Million Ways to Die in the West, which was Seth McFarlane's second movie, and it was awful. I didn't laugh once. I hated the movie. I hated myself after I watched it, and yeah, it just sucks. So now we have Ted 2, which takes place not too long after the first film. You have Ted marrying Tammy Lynn at the beginning of the film, and then after a year of being married, they start to have marriage problems. So what they do is they try to adopt a baby, which they think would fix their marriage, but after they're denied, because in the state's eyes, Ted is not a real person. He's property. So he gets pissed, sues the states for his civil rights, and thus we have our movie. Now in this movie you have the loss of Mila Kunis' character from the first film, which I initially hated because I liked her character in the first film, but the addition of Amanda Seyfried into the film is a lot better. See, the problem with Mila Kunis' character in the first film is that the movie was supposed to be a comedy, and her character added some dramatic tones to it, but took away from the comedic, moments. And that was kind of a problem. In this film, you have Amanda Seyfried, who's a lot more laid back of a character. She's cool, she's funny, she's younger, she's just all around an awesome character. And she added a lot more comedy to the film, and because of that, I liked her character more. And I was okay with the fact that Mila Kunis wasn't in this film, and I liked that they addressed her absence in the film. They addressed why she's not there, and I really enjoyed that. I think she was pregnant, and that's why she couldn't film it, so whether or not it would have been a different film if she wasn't pregnant or not, I'm not sure, but I like that they addressed it and just didn't blow it off completely. I hate when films do that. It really pisses me off when they don't address why a character is not in a movie. Well, other than that, this film has a few problems. Some of the main problems come in reusage, is in the fact that it reuses a lot of the gags and jokes from the first Ted film, which became a problem. It was okay the first few times in the film, but when it became just in your face and annoying, then it became a serious problem because it just dragged the movie down and took away from it. And another problem is that it doesn't just reuse jokes in the film, but it also reuses plot lines. Basically, the third act of the first Ted film and Ted 2 are the exact same thing. The whole third act is just copy and pasted from one film to another. And it was so apparent that it really took away from the film and took me out of the movie, and it just was kind of disappointing because so far they had changed it up. It was kind of a different movie from the first one, which I liked. I don't like when sequels copy and paste things, and then the third act hit and it was the same thing. Now, another problem in this movie is the fact that it is not as good of a story as the first film. It just doesn't feel as flowing and natural as the first film, and even though I do believe Ted 2 is a funnier film, it just didn't have as good of a story as the first one. The first one kind of dealt with, growing up, losing your childhood, and stuff like that. This film didn't really have an overall theme. It does, but not as much as the first film, and that's okay, but it took away, because when there's no comedy that's funny from point A to point B. There's always moments in a comedic film where it's supposed to be emotional and there's supposed to be a story there, and in the first one it just did a better job when there wasn't comedy, that you were more interested in the story. In this film, I was less interested in the story, so the spots where there wasn't comedy really were bland. Now, some of the positives in this film is, like I said, Amanda Seyfried's addition to the film adds so much more to it. She was funny, she was awesome, and I just want to marry her. I do. I'm in love with her now. She's my new celebrity crush. I love her. Now, other than that, a lot of the cool stuff from the first one returns that I enjoyed, like the pop culture references. Specifically, there's a Jurassic Park reference in it, and oh my god, nobody else in the theater was dying laughing. I couldn't contain it because, being a movie buff like I am, movie references like that just kill me, and I just had a great time with that. Other than that, this film, like I said, just felt funnier overall. There was a lot more jokes, and which that can be considered a good and bad thing, but since it's a comedy, I viewed it as a good thing. I really enjoyed the jokes. They landed for me, and I just had a good time overall with it. Other than that, there's not too much to say. It's a good comedy. You'll go and enjoy it. Is it as good as the first film? I don't think so. It may be funnier, so if you're just going to laugh, then yeah, you'll love it. If you like Seth MacFarlane's type of humor, so if you like Family Guy and the first Ted, then I really think you'll enjoy this movie. If you're not a fan of his comedic style, then I don't think you'll like it at all. If you hate cursing, don't go see this movie. Don't go bring your grandmothers to see it. They will hate it. Other than that, not much I can say. I'll give this movie a 5 out of 11. I just think if it would have focused a little more on the plot line and knew what it wanted to be, then it would have been a better film overall. But other than that, nothing else I'm going to say about this movie. I'm the Casual Movie Guy. If you want to hear more from me, you should definitely hit that subscribe button. Make sure to like this video. Check out some of my other ones. I just did a throwback review for the movie Independence Day on the 4th of July. Hope you guys had a good 4th of July. Other than that, I am out.